Hi, Victoria. Welcome. Thank you for
Oh,
coming along. We wanted to talk today about our wonderful retreat that we're holding in the beautiful grounds of Wasing on the 24th of June, which is a Monday, specifically for we chose a Monday because it was hopefully a day that perhaps therapists would be less busy and would be inclined and available to come. But what is it about this retreat for you that you wanted to do? Why did you want to create this idea? What is it about a silent retreat that excites you?
yeah, thanks, Amanda. That's a really, really good question. I know for me, I feel like I'm on the go all the time. I'm attached to my laptop a lot of the time and my phone, and my brain is just busy all the time. And being an empath, and being really sensitive, I feel like I get quite affected by those things, and I just don't have the time, or I don't make the time to just sit and be still and be quiet and go within. Like to have a day off and to go and be in nature. And um, because I know that's what I would benefit from, helping others to enjoy a space like that with, very gentle yoga and meditations and all the other things that we're going to do. It's just going to be very, very peaceful and grounding and cleansing, I think. Yeah. So peace. Ultimately, it's for peace and quiet. Yeah, quiet.
I think
How
from
about
my perspective
how?
was that there's so much that can be learned in the silence as well, and we can really hear what our intuition or how or even our guides or whatever it is that what we have, or we might not know that we yet have, but will appear in that silence and in that stillness. And I think it's really a beautiful way, and sometimes that does mean that some emotions will come up, and that is valid, and that's everything is acceptable. And it might be that people feel a bit tearful in that process, but it's allowing for a gentle release, isn't it? And which I think is really a beautiful thing, opportunity, isn't it, to have and to be around people that are I'm talking about yourself and myself, to be there to nurture in that experience, and to be supporting the stillness. And actually, really, from my perspective, I'm quite grounded in that stillness. I'm quite it's something that I'm quite keen to instill, and in a very positive way, that if people really aren't attracted to that stillness, then I will be recommending them not to come, because it is there's so much to be gained from that stillness. And I know how powerful it is, having worked on retreats, week-long retreats within that stillness, and observing where people haven't been silent in that process, and actually feeling a bit a bit, my heart was kind of open to them a bit more, because I thought they're not giving themselves the gift of that stillness and that silence. And it you can, even in I notice, even in normal daily life, there'll be moments where we can just talk things out, which is really powerful and positive in some ways. But sometimes we can talk out something that's really joyful, and almost it escapes from us. Whereas actually being with that silence and that stillness, we keep that joy for ourselves. And I know you're the same as I am, is that we can, because of the work that we do, we're always looking to help the other. We will not necessarily always be looking at how how we're feeling, how we're doing, how we're coping. And um and it is so important to do that, especially when we are people that give to others. We need to fill up our cups again. We need to get that balance back in alignment again. And I really did feel at the start of this year, 2024, for me was all about balance. It's about bringing in more joyful things, bringing in more silence, more stillness. And so I wanted to just also talk a little bit about because you've been in this world and this experience for a very long time now. I wondered if you could explain a little bit about what it is that you currently do, but also what your journey has been along the way.
Okay, yeah. Um, so at the moment, I'm really focusing on working with women who are possibly going through challenging times with midlife, and that could be menopausal, or it could be just big changes or even small changes, and perhaps not really sure who they are or what they want, or yeah, just feeling a bit off center. And with all the things that I have in my toolkit, I wanted to offer something that somebody can come to me and we work out a program and then just put things into place. And so it could be using yoga, Kundalini yoga, definitely good for the body and the mind, and definitely the soul. Then we've got Ayurveda, so Indian natural health system, over 5,000 years old. So that's also working physical, mind, and body, physical, mind, body, and spirit. Um, and then there's the angels. Gosh, working with the angels, wow, bringing all that spiritual energy and all that love and comfort. And then there's essential oils. I could just go on and on and on. But yes, so it's bringing all those things together. And with our day, all those things will be together. And, it's just going to be a lovely, lovely space to be in, because many of these things, they work without needing a mental understanding. And sometimes it's good to not get the mind involved and to let the body just what's the word, take in what it needs, and for that to just transmute within the body and just change emotions and just the energy, our own energy. So it can be quite a gentle but powerful way to work. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
How you've been a therapist yourself for quite a number of years as well, haven't you?
Yeah, this year is, oh, I think it's 25 years this year.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, I say that for, but not necessarily for being a full-time therapist, but that in itself has been, I don't know, maybe 15 years now full-time. So yes, it was my savior. And I just reached a point in my life. I lived in Hertford. I was working for the police force as staff, and I just reached a point where I was just thinking, my life isn't my life, and I'm just so lost and depressed, and what's the point of everything? And an opportunity came, and I was able to move to Alton in Hampshire. And from that point on, then I was able to start working with clients, and over time became a permanent, a full-time self-employed person. And yeah, but it's my journey. It's my journey that's got me into it, and also just helped me heal. And it is a an ongoing process where I think we're all a work in progress. But they're fabulous tools, and I wouldn't be who I am without everything that's happened and everything that I've learnt and all the things that I do. So anything that I'm doing for clients, I've experienced myself, or I've gone through myself, maybe not exact circumstances, but those changes that can be very difficult sometimes.
Mm.
And yeah, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I just absolutely love it.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, thank you. I think we've given a brief insight into what it is that we're trying to achieve for the day. And yeah, hopefully we can allow for people to have a little bit more peace and a bit more clarity and leave feeling calm and balanced and
Mm,
at peace. So that's my aim, definitely.
definitely. And before we finish though, Amanda, just for anybody that doesn't know you, what's your background? Where have you come from?
Well, I used
We're
to
just
work in
going to have the
insurance.
gardener walking through the house in the back of the
Okay, no
video.
problem.
Come through, it's fine.
um, yes, so I used to work in insurance many moons ago. I've now been working longer in the therapy world than I was in insurance, thankfully. But I left and traveled the world for a year. And when I came back from traveling the world, I discovered my father had lung cancer. And it sent me on a journey of self-discovery, and it created illness within my body due to the stress. So I um, was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And then my father died, and I learnt all sorts of different things, mainly to help me initially to understand that I needed to emote, which I hadn't really experienced before in a deep way, or how to do that, and how to experience grief. It wasn't part of my knowledge. I just sort of carried on and hidden and concealed a lot of my emotions, and kind of learnt along the way to conceal my emotions. And so I did a lot of work on, well, I learned initially to do massage, and then I went through to do, became a Reiki master and a reflexologist and a Bowen therapist and a pranic healer. And I went on a whole big journey of all of those therapy learnings. But also the biggest learnings that I did was whilst I was on retreat in Penningham in Scotland, where we did week-long retreats, where I initially went in 2013 to discover myself, as I was just 40 and was single and no kids and very unwell, and didn't think much of life really at that time, and didn't know how I was going to get forward. And that course transformed me, and I ended up going back 3 times and then asked to be on the team. And so I worked within the retreat for several years. And it was a wonderfully powerful retreat. And as I said, we had a lot of silence within that space. So um, there was a lot of learnings from all of that. And I've still got the books, many books of from all of that that I did. So, and I went on to learn about psychosynthesis and family constellation work and a lot of breath work and all of that sort of thing, which all really helped me along my journey. But most importantly was to just sit with the emotions and to have um, someone sit with me to go through and to discover how really, if you're really present with each emotion, it can lift and arise really quickly into another emotion. And so that was one of the most powerful workings that I did. Um, and so nowadays I continue to do that, and I teach meditation on a daily basis, and continue to do lots of massage and reflexology and Reiki. So yeah, so I'm really passionate about helping people, always have been very passionate about helping people. And I feel very privileged to do half of the work that I do. And sometimes last week I wrote a post about it on my Facebook page about how um varied the job is and how fortunate we are, and how, it is a incredible gift to be able to support people in that way. And I know most therapists feel exactly the same, that we're so lucky. And um yeah, so the more people that we can offer our services to, the better. And so I'm going to put it out there now. My aim in my meditation that came up for me this morning my aim was to see another 500 people before my 52nd birthday next year. So there you go. That's
Yeah,
my
I'm sure you'll reach it.
aim.
Fantastic. Oh, thanks for sharing all of that, Amanda. Yeah, it's lovely what you do.
And you, right back at you.
Oh,
Thanks very much for coming along
okay.
today.
Thank
Take care.
you. All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.